Hi everyone, this is Men's here playing the Tier 9 Chinese medium tank, the WZ-120. And this tank, I do have the top elite version, top gun, top tracks, turret, and all that. But as you'll notice in this video, there's not much gun depression to work with on this tank. It's pretty much non-existent because it has a 122mm gun, which is pretty large for a medium tank. And it hits more like a heavy tank with its 440 damage shell. So it's just something to keep in mind that this tank has a lot of firepower and it's more like a heavy tank in that regards, but it does sacrifice a lot to be able to have that type of firepower because you're unable to point your gun down enough to be able to fight most enemies. I'm actually gonna head to the other side of the map because I'm not going to be able to fight well on the left side to warrant me going over there. At least on the right side I have a little bit better chance at not having to worry about my gun depression. Might be able to get a quick shot off if they spot that Patton or TD again. That's a possibility depending on where he goes. The hell, I'll throw a shell there. Plenty of shells in this thing, so you're not gonna run out anytime soon. That Batchat's freaking... he's pushing way out there to actually survive if the enemy comes for him. Luckily there is this T-54 here, where unfortunately the aiming time and overall accuracy for this tank is terrible. I have a vertical stabilizer as also I have a enhanced gun laying drive. Oh, I got a little tongue-tied there. But it seems like most of the enemies are on the left side of the map, so hopefully we can do something over here and not waste this side of the map by doing nothing. Still to be a little careful. Just hoping I'd get lucky there and pop them. Is that IS-8? Okay, T-54, you're gone. I'm just gonna move back a little bit further just to let these guys catch up a little bit before I go down to this IS-8. Okay, there's more than just the IS-8 here. I'm just waiting for our heavy tanks to come. I want to push up so it's harder to hit my turret here. And unfortunately, we're not getting too much assistance. Okay, I should be able to hit him. Here we go. They finally made it to the party. I don't think we're going to be able to cap it. But we need these guys to get on the cap. Okay, at least he bounced. Whoa, why are you trying to ram me, dude? It's not good for either of us. Hopefully he can't... Nah, he's going to be able to... Now I'll try to ram him. 7 HP? Come on. Oh shit, he got freaking whacked. Unfortunately, the tank without accuracy has his gun damaged. But since we're starting to fall way behind here, I was about to say I was going to hop on the cap because I have almost no HP, but there's no point in it now with how my team is set up. Most of our tanks are artillery, so it's not gonna do me any good just sitting on a cap doing nothing. Although I'm probably gonna die here. Now I do try to angle the front of this tank a little bit because you do have a pretty decent amount of frontal armor on your upper glacis. You just have to angle it a little bit and you'll be able to bounce a lot of things coming your way. But I'm not gonna come out surviving this match. But as you see here, even these small little slopes, you're unable to actually use your gun depression because, or you're able to use it, but it's not gonna do you any good. See if we can get this Tiger 2 out, but nope, he killed me right before that. But there wasn't much that we could have done for this match. I don't know why that guy was complaining about us being on a cap. We would have just lost anyway, because had we not been out in front of the cap, they would have just pushed straight in and reset us anyway. Overall, pretty decent match though. 2,334 damage, destroyed one enemy tank, blocked a decent amount of damage, and assisted with a decent amount of damage as well. Let's just hop into one more battle here. Okay, so Windstorm, a bit different than the previous map. It's a little flatter, unless if you go in the northern section, and a lot more cover to utilize. Now both teams have most of their top tier tanks as mediums, and even that AMX 5120, it's basically a large medium tank. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they focus on the north, because I'm not heading there with the lack of gun depression this tank has. I'm gonna take my chances fighting further down in the city. Okay, so looks like the T-54s on our team are heading to the city, which I kind of expected them to head north, because while the T-54 doesn't have great gun depression, it's still enough to be able to fight in most areas. You just can't hold down like some American tanks can. Let me see if I can't get across here to the other side. I want to remain up here so I have a little bit more options open to me. Sometimes you can catch a tank moving down here that's not aimed in and surprise them. But looks like they don't have tons of tanks in the town. It looks like they're going mid and north. So I'll focus my attention back over here. So always need to make sure that you're not rounding the corner into a freaking tank destroyer or something with a large gun. Now there is this T-28 prototype over here. It's not really paying attention. I could have took the T-54 out, but I didn't realize that he had already pushed back. Shit, that was a waste of a shell. Okay, don't push out there. It's T-28. Okay, he's probably gonna pull back. This gives me a shot. Okay, let's see. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't get that shot off in the right place. Well, at least that Centurion took him out. Okay, it's help with this IS-6 here. And we both shot him at the same time. So I'm actually going to pull back and start helping out with their base now. They have quite a few guns back here. Just need to be careful I don't get flanked from the side. Whoa. Okay, I kind of screwed up my chance of shooting him. That hurt my gun. So I kind of exacted revenge on him. And shit. At least they got him at. But there's this Leopard prototype behind me. Gonna need to deal with him before that tank destroyer. Shit. Hopefully they kill this T-54. Just waiting to see. He's not tall enough for me to be able to hit him, actually. Thought I would have just enough to be able to sneak a shot in. But we gotta get this TD out. Oh shit, he's rushing right in there. And unfortunately we just lost both of our tanks. And I'm just being torn apart because my teammates behind me are not dealing with the enemies. They're just freaking running away from them. But unfortunately, I kind of expected that AMX 5120 and the VK45 here to actually push up and kill those mediums. Instead, we lost 3 tanks instead of taking out 2 of their tanks, and more likely than not, we're going to lose now. And the best part of it is all 3 of our real tanks and whatever the Jagd Panther II back there is doing have most of their HP left, and all the enemy tanks they could have killed had basically a few hundred HP. They could have 1 shot at them or 2 shot at them. And now he's dead because he was just sitting there in the open and artillery got him. But if you want to see something of what not to do, it's what these guys are doing. This VK, for example, he was sitting up on a hill, no cover at all, just sitting out there. His tank is very large, poorly armored, no gun depression, so he couldn't actually shoot an enemy if it came in front of him. Jagd Panther, he's sitting back there doing nothing on the edge of the map. Jagd Tiger, he's getting flanked by a light tank because he is sitting out in the open, and he's pretty much screwed, no one there to support him. So these guys are essentially doing the worst thing possible that they could, and unfortunately I did not have much of a chance because I was stuck in the middle of all these enemies. I expected them to take out those 2 mediums that were right in front of them, and I went to go take out the TD, but it turned into them running away and all the tanks focusing on my group. But I really hope that these guys don't get any more damage and they just lose, because they definitely deserve it. I know that probably sounded mean what I just typed, but just trying to help them out, because it's very frustrating seeing people play like this, because there's no upside to it other than making yourself lose. And he finally died, and don't know what he expected to get out of hiding in the probably the furthest location from the enemy, but it definitely was not a good idea. So overall, not a great match, but still did 1,736 damage, blocked a little bit, and I spotted for a little bit, and just barely eked a profit out. But anyway, the WZ-120 is a great tank as far as firepower goes, and its armor still is pretty good. The turret's great all around, but the upper glacis on the front is good if you add a little bit of an angle to it. The main downside to this tank is the lack of gun depression, which makes it very difficult to fight on any sort of uneven terrain, and also the accuracy and aiming time is very poor for this tank, which is why I have a gun laying drive and vertical stabilizer on it. So anyway, thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my website, WOTguru.com.